Hey everybody, welcome back to When Models Talk. Just waiting for Daisy to come along and we are going to get started on interviewing. My special guest is Daisy Rasmussen. I know I'm going to say that wrong. But yes, we have a lot of fun topics, a lot of fun questions to ask. So I'm excited. I'm always excited to do this. It don't matter how my day is going. I'm good. Hey, Daisy. Oh, shoot. 1 second, girl. 1 second. Don't judge me. I'm dropping stuff. All right, give me 1 second. Let me fix my chair. Get back in it. Yes. Hold on. Okay. Let me add you. Let me add you in, girl. Wait a minute. Hey, you look cute. You changed your
Thank
hair
you.
color.
Well, yeah, well, kind of, yeah, I guess. But last
I
time,
thought you
what
went
did you do?
blonde.
Oh, yeah, well, quarantine, right? My roots got so long that I was like, ugh, it was just brunette into blonde. So I was like, let's just throw in a crazy color temporarily, you know?
Look, I'm ready to change my hair color, but the last time I changed my hair color, it was like the deer color, and I loved it because it like matched in my skin tone. But the person accidentally, or maybe they meant to put it in permanently. So it took like a hot minute for it to come out. I didn't mind, but at the same time, I was like, y'all said it was a wash. You ain't say it was permanent. So, yes. So today we have, I don't know if I'm going to say your last name right, but I'm going to try. Daisy Rasmussen.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
I got it. So, for everybody that's watching, Daisy is a designer, yes, a model, and a Drexel University a Drexel University graduate with her bachelor's degree in fashion design, and she has walked for Philly Fashion Week and New York Fashion Week, as well as she is the proud owner of Razzle Dazzle Paints. Mm-hmm. Yes, so everybody welcome Daisy. They're giving you claps. You can't hear it, but they're giving it to you.
Nice, yeah. My homies are here. I'm glad.
Yes, so as an icebreaker, before we get into our topics and we get into, everything that we're going to do today, we're going to do a little game called Mentally Stimulate Me by Derrick Jaxn. So I'm going to ask you questions. And with these questions, just answer however you want to answer them. And let's get started. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. So, question one. Your partner has had way too much to drink and tells you they miss their ex. What do you do? A. Ignore it. B. Ask them if they mean it. C. Let it go for the moment, but bring it up later. D. Break up right then and there.
What was C? Let it go for the moment and bring it up later?
Bring it up later. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I'd bring it up later. I'd be like, if you miss, why not go?
For me, I might no. I don't know if I can let it go right then and there. Stormy like Will Pearson, he's like, oh, and Stormy like this. So, okay, I would be the type of person where I would dig a little deeper because people get a little alcohol in their system, the truth start coming out. So I'm like, start asking a little bit more questions.
Yeah, that's fair.
But then I would bring it up later though, once they sober. Because I'll have something on my mind all night and I don't like that. So I have to like deal with it or I'm gonna lose sleep.
Yeah.
Next question. Okay. The one physical quality that must be attracted to you, no matter how good his heart is there A, teeth, B, skin, C, shape/build, D, eyes.
Ugh. I guess eyes. I'm honestly most like attracted to the best personality, you know?
Okay.
Um,
Okay, so
but
the
I guess
eyes
eyes.
and personality is important.
Yeah. Personality's like everything.
You
He could
know,
be the
eyes.
hottest man in the world, but if he's like a piece of poop, I mean, he's gotta get out.
That's right. Hey, run down to
How?
Anna B. Hinkle. Am I saying that right? I think so. I don't know. Hey, Anna.
Anna, yeah.
Oh,
Anna
Anna.
be humble.
Okay. All right. So the last question is, let me see which one I want to ask you. A couple that I looked at. All right. Okay, your partner is offered a reality show if they get in a fake relationship and agree to keep you a secret. What would you do? A, let them decide by supporting either way. B, encouraging them to accept the offer. C, encouraging them to reject the offer. D, daring them to consider.
I'd encourage them to accept the offer. Seems like a good opportunity.
Hey, it really depends on I guess it depends on what you want to accomplish. Like, what is your end game as far as like being on that particular show?
Mm-hmm.
You know, especially if you're in entertainment. It just depends.
Yeah, I agree.
I ain't gonna answer that.
You ain't gonna answer that one? What? That seems unfair.
It was just for you, Daisy. It was for you.
Just for me.
Okay. Now we got the icebreaker done. Nerves and everything else is gone.
Yeah, completely.
The next thing is getting into these topics. So we're definitely going to talk about your wonderful collection called Work. Yes,
yeah.
and you have a piece on right now, which is beautiful. And I definitely got to see. Do you have all the rest of the pieces too, or just some?
So I'm not actually at my house right now. I have some little art pieces with me, and I have this piece, which is like my tag look.
Yes.
So I'll talk about this one because it's fantastic.
Yes.
It's kind of like
talk about. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. Well, for my senior collection, I wanted to do an inclusive collection that was sustainable and upcycled. And I was really inspired by like masculine workwear because it's almost, I mean, tie, the classic suit and tie is almost going out of fashion in a way. You know, like it used to be required to wear a tie every day to work. So the amount of ties that are in like thrift stores, good quality silks with like good quality prints that are just dirt cheap, there's just like, it's infinite. It's infinite. So I took all these ties and I would hand sew them together and practice draping and stuff. And every single part of the tie I try to use, even when I deconstructed the element and like got rid of the filling, I would deconstruct it and like get rid of the tag and save all the tags. So this top is actually a culmination of like all of the tags I cut off the ties. And it's over like 1,000 tags in here.
I see, but it's crazy how you actually took, first of all, I've seen your collection, and when I say you did an amazing job, you did an amazing job. And I've seen your work over previous because we modeled together, and you had a collection while we were modeling. You were in it, and your collection was in it. So,
that was my first. I think the first time we met, I was sophomore with a piece in the show, or was I junior? Was it junior year or sophomore year?
It might have been sophomore year.
Oh, yeah, I guess so. Yeah, and I got a piece in the show, and I was so excited because I was just a little sophomore with like a piece in the show, and I was backstage, and I was in the show, which was, I mean, my first modeling show, and I could see my garment being worn by another model while I was wearing all these garments. It was just fantastic. And I met so many nice models like you.
Yes. But so taking this piece right here, you said you took a whole bunch of tags from off of ties, and then you put them all together on a piece, which is, I don't know how many tags that is. I have no clue. That means you had a lot of ties.
Oh, yeah.
And then on top of that, with your collection where you made a dress with ties. So, and I'm definitely going to post that up on my page so people can see exactly what you did, because when I say it's beautiful, it's beautiful. And I would have never even thought of that. I wouldn't have thought about that. So this is you being the designer. This is you taking your ideas and taking them outside of the box and not keeping them in a box, you know, being creative. So definitely, I'm proud of you because, girl, and I see, like I said, I've seen your collection. I'm gonna have to put it on my page so people can see it and they'll know exactly. And actually, you can go on Daisy's page and see her collection as well. Okay.
Absolutely.
So, my first question is, how did you get into modeling?
How did I get into modeling? Okay. So I've always kind of been told growing up that I should model. And for a while, I definitely rejected it. I was like, no, because like, you never want to do what your parents say, you know? So I don't know. I first really rejected that path, and I rejected femininity like altogether for a while because I was just so anti that. But I got into, in the weirdest way, I like weaved back through like cosplay and like making my own costumes and posing for pictures of that. But then, I mean, I went into fashion design, and I actually got dragged by a professor to like the casting of the Drexel show, Alfonso. And Alfonso was like, walk for me. And I have always like tried to walk in a straight line. Honestly, I've always tried to walk in a straight line since that one like dare class when they make you put on the goggles and like they're walking a crazy line. I was like, I've got to walk like I'm on a balance beam all of the time, and that way I'll never get screwed. I don't know, but I had a good walk, and I got casted in the show, and I was just so ecstatic, and I met so many great people, and it opened up so many doors that I like ran into like a newer up and coming agency, and that's how I got like scouted. Was like that first Drexel show.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Good. So Alfonso had to drag you to the casting just so you can do it.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I was doing like the fashion illustration models or fashion illustration modeling for like the fashion classes where I would like model and like stay in that pose for like, 30 minutes. And that was really hard. So I was in it, but I don't know, doing runway was just like a completely different experience. And it was just like, oh, I want to do more of this. I want to be involved in like seeing like the new garments and the new designers and like the new creations. And I want to feel like I want to be this person's vision at the end of that runway,
So when did you actually get into design as far as fashion design? Did you start off immediately when you started college, or was it something that over time?
It definitely developed over time. I think I started getting into fashion design in high school when I was really, really engrossed in costume design and like doing cosplay, which is like anime costume, and going to conventions and stuff. So that's like what led me into being, and I think I'm still more of like a theatrical, these are definitely not very like ready to wear pieces. They're still like theatrical in their own right. And I'll always be a theater bitch in my own heart, I think. But Yeah, I don't know. At some point, it just like kind of went into a more fashion drive. Once I came into drag school, my costume visions kind of became more like avant-garde fashion.
Okay. Awesome. Well, like I said, I absolutely love the collection. And
Thank you.
everyone make sure
I
you go
wish
to
you could have walked it.
oh, um, Fashion University. Wow, they love how you started modeling. Rundown Studio said very creative mind. And Kayla, am I going to say that? I want to say that right. Kayla R. Welsh said, "What's your favorite anime?"
My favorite anime. Kayla R. Welsh is actually Kayla Welsh is my freshman roommate and loves to mock me for my anime times. But I'm gonna say my favorite anime is Hunter x Hunter or One Piece. Or One Piece.
I'm gonna have to ask my daughter about that because that's like her whole thing right now. Anime.
It's the way to go. It's the way to go. She could be in way crazier stuff, but anime, that's, they're teaching some wholesome lessons.
It's creative. So all she do is she makes videos, she writes the stories to it, and she creates it. She creates the characters. Girl, do your thing. It might turn up to be something amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I'm asking, what's the one you said so I can see if she knows about it?
One Piece or Hunter x Hunter. Hunter
x Hunter and One Piece.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm gonna ask her.
Yes.
Okay, so we know that how you got into modeling. Have you ever done any acting?
Have I ever done any acting? Well, I was in Oklahoma in middle school. And then I was actually in a music video. So like I've really only done nonverbal acting, at least for a while at this point. But I loved being in a music video. It was really, really fun. Would certainly do it.
I just learned that acting takes, you gotta have patience.
Yeah.
You gotta have patience because everybody has to be on the same page. And you can't be like, okay, how long is this day? That's not how it works.
Well, you can't be like that as a model either. You can't walk in being like, how long is this gonna be?
Yes, because you there, you might make the best of it and have fun. Okay.
Absolutely.
So, talking about your collection, I know you said it was an all males. It was, based off of using men's ties and different things pertaining to men. So like all men's upscale wear.
Upcycled workwear. Yeah.
Okay, upcycled workwear. I add that part in my notes. But so, and how did you get all of the tags? Did you go to like a thrift store and get everything, or where did you get all the ties from? Everything to make your work.
Yeah. So my first tie dress, which was like all different colors for my senior collection, I sorted them by color. But the first dress I ever made was made completely out of like my dad's ties that he got rid of. He had like 52 ties that I just was like, I'm gonna take them. And I knew I wanted to make a dress out of it or like make something out of it. Because honestly, like it's just so beautiful. They're just kind of beautiful in itself, like the crazy patterns and prints that it gives you. So my first tie dress was made from my dad's ties, and then my second one was made from my uncle's tie collection. And then from that point, like I had to expand and grow, and I needed more ties, and I've trained the family dry. So I went to Philly Ace Thrift. I went on eBay. I went to everywhere. And then I saw donations from like other businessmen. Because again, like they used to need to wear them every day. So they had, it used to be a thing where people would have huge collections of them. And now you only need like 3 or 4.
Yeah, and sometimes you see a lot of people wearing bow ties. or they have ones where the shirts where there is like it just goes up and there's no tie that goes around your neck at all, because you know fashion has changed just a little. So it's, hey, it has more ties for Daisy. More ties.
Yes. More ties for me.
Yes. So again, I'm gonna show Daisy's some of her work on my page today. Actually, I'm gonna have to steal some of your stuff off your page and put it on mine.
Please do.
Yes. So the next question is, let's get into what you're currently doing now, and that is you currently work for Nancy Volpe. Did I say that right?
Yep.
Beringer.
Yes.
From off of season 18 on Project Runway. So,
yeah.
How is it working for someone of her stature?
I mean, it's amazing. I've known Nancy since like I interviewed with her right before I think she had Tierra Whack wear one of her pieces during the Grammys. And it was like her first kind of like big major like news bit. And I've really seen her go through like the whole process. And I was watching her studio when she was away in Project Runway. So I've really seen her grow, but all throughout the time, like she's always stayed the same, like inspirational, amazing, hardworking, dedicated woman. Like who's just so warm and is such a great mentor. And like on Project Runway, like you see her, she is exactly like she was on Project Runway. Maybe a little less manic because, you know, Project Runway forces you to go everywhere always and runs around, but Nancy is usually pretty controlled. I mean, but she's just that warm and just that sweet. She's wonderful.
Aww. So what are some things that you actually learned from her working under her?
I've learned so much. She's really such a mentor towards me in many, many ways. Technical level, she's taught me a bunch about like pattern making and draping. She's taught me a bunch about fabric manipulation and different dye techniques. But I mean, even on like a broader level, she goes over like the different design elements of like taking a step back and like, does it need to be simplified? Does it really need this? Because I always tend to do like, I'm always like more, more. And Nancy really taught me how to like hone in.
Bring it here. People have to wear this, you know?
Yes. She's kind of, you know, brought me down to like a more fashionable level, whereas like usually my stuff was like becoming very big and costumey. It's just taught me so much.
But you gotta remember you said what is it called? Hold on. Cosplay. So it was very important to me. You did a lot of that. So it's like, let me do something big and, you know, crazy a little bit. Rather than she's like, okay, as a designer, you want something that's big too, but other designs that are a little bit, you know, simpler that people can actually wear. So, okay. Somebody said, JSS, Justine?
Jess.
She said, she or he, I'm not sure, but what has been your favorite modeling experience?
My favorite modeling experience. Well, I think my middle school self would have really had a crush on me when I modeled for Spencer's. Costume stuff. That was really, really fun. On like a reflecting moment of like my angsty self would have really liked that like person on the costumes that year. I don't know. It was really great. Although I love the hair. I love doing hair stuff. When I had a hair casting that I first went from like long blonde to short blonde, I got beautiful hair, a beautiful dye job, and I got paid. Oh my God.
I know it's wonderful when you're a model and you you get something that you actually can use. So getting your hair done and you can actually use it. Then you get your makeup done and you can really use that. Like, ooh, I should just go out after this because it just looks so good. You know how many times I got my makeup done and I was like, where am I going after this? I got to go somewhere. And then when you get paid, that's a whole nother level. Look, I always say we are not free models. We like to get paid for our services. Our time is valuable.
Yes.
Look, so
absolutely.
So someone asked, let me see, Conox Picks. He asked, where do you want to be in 5 years?
Where do I want to be in 5 years?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. A good question.
I got some good questions. Look,
I know.
I ain't even asking my questions no more. Look, I'm going to get back to them, but let me let them ask questions so you can answer.
Yeah, okay. 5 years from now, you never know where this industry will take you, but I'd really, really like to, I think one of my personal goals is to eventually be able to be an international model and walk for like London Fashion Week or like Paris Fashion Week. That would be, because I've done New York and I mean, amazing. So if I could just conquer the others, you know, throw those in there, that'd be a great modeling feat. I'd love to have an art show or an art gallery. Who knows?
Yes. I've been saying something. I said something to you. You know.
You did.
Razzle paint.
Razzle
paint. We're going to get to that part. We're going to get to that part. But yes, I think it's all something that actually can happen. You know, within the next 5 years, you never know where. After all this is going on right now, you never know what's going to happen or where we're all going to go. So at the end of the day, anything's possible. You just got to work at it. And I would love to see your collection over in Paris.
Yeah. Oh, I just wish I could see. I wish I could have seen you in my collection.
Girl, you know, I'll do it anytime it's cool.
I'll call you.
Yes. Okay, so. All right, so the next thing is when it comes to coordinating a fashion show. I know we spoke and you said that you helped out with coordinating a fashion show, for helping with Nancy Volpe. Let me say it right. Nancy Volpe. Nancy Volpe Berger. She did Philly Fashion Week, and you were helping her. You were a coordinator. So how was that experience? And what can you teach others if they want to actually, you know, if they wanted to put on a fashion show for their own collection, something that, you know, eventually that's what you're going to be doing.
Yeah. Gosh. Again, Nancy taught me infinitely, teaches me infinitely. When she was like at her height of busyness working on her Project Runway collection, she left a lot of like the Philly Fashion Week responsibilities to me and as the other NBB and NBB member. So we figured out, like, we picked out the collection we wanted to show. We had to do a lot of styling meetings to figure out like what we could style it with, and we had to go to castings and pick models, which was a complete reversal for me. Just reverse that card, looking at people, watching them walk. It was nice to be on the other end of the table. But you know, like Philly Fashion Week is an unpaid event, so a lot of first-time models do it to learn. So like a lot of times, like we saw somebody who had a great look and had a great attitude, but I had to like just do a little bit of like, okay, just a little straighter walk, or like a little more pause at the end of the runway, and maybe just, you know, make sure you keep your focus on like just slightly above eye level and have that like unclenched jaw, all of the stuff. And it's just, I think, like coordinating a fashion show, because we helped with the Garbage Bag Gala, Salvation Army coordinating,
I saw some of that. The models y'all picked some great models, number one.
Yes, Kimati.
Yes, he did. I just love him as a model. He does such a great job. He is excellent. Anybody can learn from him because he's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Where did my train of thought? Goodbye. But I mean, you just got to be involved in like every step of the process. Really, you got to try to do it all, especially when it's like when you're coordinating a smaller show.
Yeah.
You know.
Mm-hmm. And I would also throw in there, if anybody's ever looking or wanting, I think especially as a designer, as even a model, I feel like people put on fashion shows all the time. It can be hard, but at the same time, it can be very easy if you know what you're doing and what you have to do. So, and I always say, I'm eventually going to put on a fashion show, but I want to do a huge event anyway. And since I don't make the clothes, I'm just going to pick the designers that want to showcase their things, because that was something I was planning on doing this summer, but things happen. So
things happen.
At the end of the day, next year, we'll see. We'll see how everything goes over the next couple of years. You never know what's going on in this world. But yeah, but if you ever want to do a fashion show, just put your plan together. Take notes on people who have already done it. Call people up, hit them up, DM them, and ask them, like, how do I put on a fashion show and what can I do? You'll be shocked on how nice some people are. Not everybody's going to say, I don't got time for you. Like, it's fine. And if somebody does say, go to the next person, because they might be able to tell you something different or help you out if you need help. So, yeah. Fashion show. I know I want to see somebody that I'm looking at right now do her own fashion show, her own collection, and everything else. Okay. So, and we also talked about the fact that Nancy has an exclusivity. Am I saying that right? I think I'm saying that wrong. Exclusivity.
Inclusivity.
You got it. Yeah. You got it.
Yes.
And that's what making her mask. So what type of mask is she actually making or having you guys make or assist with?
So man, she's made a lot of different versions, but I think the one that's like super inclusive right now is these vinyl sheet like cutout masks that are cotton backed like around, but it has like a vinyl cutout for like anybody who needs to read lips or who practices like ASL. And it's just like one of the things she's always tried to do is incorporate like inclusive designs to communities or minorities that need it. Like somebody contacted her with like a deaf son and was like, this is a need. Do you have any ideas? And she was like, oh my God. Like she takes everything as like an opportunity and a challenge. And so she did this, she set it up, and then she started to produce more of them.
Okay. I think because when you said it to me the first time, I was like, that's an amazing idea, because that's something I didn't even think about. The different type of masks that people are making, because I even started, I sew a little bit. I started making masks myself. I took a fashion design class in high school, but that stayed. And and I know how to make masks, and I've learned how to perfect the masks that I make. So it was actually definitely a different experience. But when you said that she adds a part in there so they can actually see, like if someone's deaf and you got to read lips and just different things of that nature. It's so, I just thought it was a great idea. Like I've never seen nobody do it.
Yeah.
So I think that's wonderful that you guys are, team is getting that done for people who are in need of that particular design. Kudos to y'all.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very on brand for Nancy.
Yes. Now, you said a quote that I really liked, and that was, "Jack of all aces, but a master of none." What did you mean by that? And Go ahead.
Jack of all trades, master of none, I think. Yes. Oh. Jack of all aces.
Go ahead. So,
okay.
With that phrase, what does that mean when you say that?
Yes. So I forget when I first heard it. I think it's just like an expression, but it was like semi-recently that my friend Will, who I think was in here earlier, he loosely said it, and it like has stuck with me since, because I'm so interested in so many different like things between like modeling and fashion design and paint. I just, sometimes it lends itself well to each other, and sometimes it feels like it pulls me too many different ways at once. So oftentimes I do feel like a jack of all trades but a master of none, because like, if I had the time to focus on one, would that be potentially better? Some would argue, I don't think so though, because I get bored, so I gotta go everywhere always.
Girl. I'm like, okay, we did that. What's next? What else?
Yeah.
Because me, once I've already did something, I've mastered that, I've conquered that, I did it. It's like, all right, what's the next big thing? What are we going to do that's going to that's going to help people? Number one, that's going to solve a problem. I really don't like to do things that don't have a purpose. Even though I have to psych my mind out, like even when I'm doing anything, there is a purpose behind it. But in my mind, I always got to just say, I'm doing this for people. Not that it's beneficial to me, because if I'm of service, it'll eventually benefit me. But more of, I'm just doing it for other people. If that makes sense.
Yes.
Okay, so next. We talked about unsustainability, sustainability in the modeling industry. Let's dive into that when it pertains to fashion and the fundamentals of design, creating how you create. What's sustainable, what's unsustainable, and how does that help you when you're thinking of, your next collection? Put it that way.
Yes. So the fashion industry is one of the world's leading pollutants. Actually, it's shocking how much the fashion industry wastes. So there's many different like ways or tracks of sustainability. For example, like I use upcycling, which is taking already processed materials and giving them new life. There's also like zero waste patterning, because if you think of like raw fabric in squares, there's a lot of, I think it's average 30% of it goes to waste when you're actually cutting the different like shapes into the fabric. Like those scraps usually go to waste. And then let's see, zero waste patterning, upcycling. I feel like I'm forgetting one. Anna Hankel, if you're still there, I feel like you you could stop this third one. But there's definitely different tracks. I love upcycling. There's infinite ways, because there's just infinite materials that are always going to waste.
So question real quick. So with those scraps, what do you do with them?
Well, I usually like dealing with the actual material, like an actually produced material, like an old pair of jeans, deconstruction and reconstruction. But like, there's this store in New York called is it called Scrap Fabrics? Why am I forgetting it? But basically, like they manufacturers that have less than like 10 bolts or 10 yards will will sell them to other like smaller designers, And then like there's infinite ways like you can use scraps. Like you could use fab scraps. Anna got me. Fab scraps. Yes. Fab scraps sells like end of roll bolts and that kind of stuff that you can still make garments from. But even like those little pieces, like you can use for rags or even like maybe accessories or fabric manipulation, like cutting up fabrics and then like using like water soluble paper, sewing them into water soluble paper and then like dissolving it. Modern lace making. Okay. There's tons of different ways and techniques to like get into sustainability. I just love it, and it's so important because it's just like our industry is such like a wasteful industry.
Because I know my niece, because she's into fashion too, but she's also into herself, so it just go hand in hand. And she goes and she'll buy some very, very cheap jeans, or she'll take jeans that I'm getting rid of or my sister's getting rid of because we're all small. So she'll take that and then all of a sudden she'll rip them up and then do all this extra stuff. And then when I see her, I'm like, where did you get those jeans from? Those are cute. And she's like, I just cut them. I just cut them. She took like a brush or something, because that's how kids are wearing them. They're wearing them where they're ripped. And I'm like, why you got this big behind hole in your pants? Normally your mama be like, throw that in the trash. It's trash. We're not wearing that. And then now today, that's like the style. So just you might as well find jeans that are like $1 on sale or something else and just start going in on them, because that's how everybody's wearing their clothes nowadays. I have jeans too. And eventually, before all this whole fashion came in where ripped jeans was in, everybody was like, my mom kept on saying, Mom, if you don't throw that in the trash, throw it in the trash. But I kept them because they were just my favorite jeans, you know? I can't wait for bell bottoms to really come back in style, because I love me some bell bottoms.
Oh, me too. They're coming. I think they're coming.
Those are one pair of pants. Those are one pair of pants that I actually would love to learn how to make. But the bell bottoms that are straight down but not so wide at the bottom, they're wide but like it's like connected, like all wide, if that makes sense. I don't know the terminology for all the clothes, but but yes. So next, because I want to make sure we still have time, let's talk about Razzle Dazzle paints.
Yes, let's talk about paint.
This came out of nowhere left, because literally, y'all, I'm having a conversation with her, and I didn't even know that she knew that she had skills like that. And then when she sent me a picture, I was like, oh my gosh. The most beautiful, I gotta post it up on my page. The most beautiful painting I've ever seen. And I told her, I was like, look, you need to do your website. You need to start selling your paintings and letting people know how skilled you are. And she used material, y'all, in her stuff. So explain, how did this come about?
Yes,
Miss fashion design degree, when she could have had an art degree.
I know.
Both.
Well, I mean, all this time, I've like, even in high school, like I was sketching ideas for costumes. Like I was sketching fashion sketches throughout college. I've always been sketching, and we had to take figure drawing and like figure drawing 1 and 2 and design 1, 2, and 3. And those are like some of the most valuable classes I learned. It was like fundamentals of design. Even though when I was there, I was like a square. What I'm making squares, triangles in black and white. What am I learning? But it teaches you so much. Just like the basic elements of design are amazing. But throughout this, and throughout college, I always loved to sketch and illustrate. And then when I took painting, it was like, this is it. Because it was kind of like, it was just a moment where I was in class and I loved every second of it. So whenever fashion design was like for instance, this is a very intensive project, like hours of time,
I
hours.
can tell.
When that would get like too tedious, I would always turn to like paint to relieve me. And having a fashion design degree, I think it aided me in my painting stuff. Like I involved tool and jewelry and like multimedia elements in my stuff. But yeah, I don't know, I just always loved to do it ever since I took painting, and I haven't stopped, and I still am making things. So I do have some.
Yes, I can get there.
Yeah, I have this little guy here.
Oh my! See, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about, y'all. That is beautiful.
Thank you. Just a little small guy here. Unicorn.
But still, it's beautiful. I'm just amazed at how you're able to make them. Like that's like, don't get me wrong, I have a little artsy side of me too. But like it's just crazy. Let me see. I didn't see that one.
Let's see. This.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah, I'll do a little zoom in here.
Wow, this is beautiful. See, this is what I'm talking about. You need to have, this is stuff that needs to be on other people's walls.
I know. It's true. I gotta get into it. I mean, really, especially over quarantine, like I've just exploded with paints because it's just been like, you know, when I was in Drexel with fashion design, it was like that was my priority, and I was like always trying to push my collection. But then, you know, the fashion show got canceled, and I graduated, so I was like, for the first time, I could kind of explore this route more, and I just haven't stopped.
Yes, I see. It's beautiful because that must be new.
Yes, this is new.
I'm like, this girl, you got to post. Did you post that on your page yet?
No, I didn't. Well, I was just working on it today, and I think I do want to go back into it for just like the littlest bits, the littlest sections. Details are everything.
Look, it looks good to me the way it is. I'm like, what you change it because it looks good. Girl, I gotta think of something to paint for me.
Oh my God, I love to paint. I love to paint.
Because a friend of mine, she does wall art. Well, I think I sent you over her stuff.
Yes,
she's excellent.
gorgeous.
Yes.
Gorgeous.
And the different types of style that you both have, like her stuff is more of it's not people. The fact that you're making people is amazing to me.
Yeah.
And my mom, she also is very creative. My kids, they can paint, they can draw, they can do all that stuff as well. Just like I said, I got a little arts, you know, it's in my blood, it's in the bloodline.
Yeah.
But yes, I feel like her work is amazing. Not just her collection when it comes to clothes, but also her art. So if anybody wants, I don't know, I'm saying, if anybody wants Daisy, go to Razzle Dazzle Paints and DM her if you want her to make you a painting. Or if she's already done a painting that you see, you like, can I have that? These are all they're all for sale.
Yeah.
They're all for sale. They're not free, y'all. They're not free.
Yeah.
But you get paid for her services. That's a lot of work, a lot of vision, a lot of you know, just her putting things out on a canvas. How about the paper? On a canvas. So yes, her work is amazing. So make sure y'all check out her page, Razzle Dazzle Paint.
That's my wacky art.
Yes, and also I wanted to ask this too because I know that. Hold on. I know that you. How is it? I'm just going in. How is it being a model and a designer at the same time? what are the pros and the cons to it, if there is even any cons to both of those?
I mean, it's amazing to like have these interests so that are so close to each other, because like as a model, I I try to think like a designer in a way of like, okay, I see this garment that they chose for me. What do they want me to emphasize? Does it have pockets? Should I be like showing off like a hood, or like if it's really flowing, you know, kind of guide it, do a dramatic swoop and
Yes.
all that stuff. You just gotta, you know, again, it's thinking about like what details and what elements are in a garment that I need to emphasize as a model to stand out. And it helps that I'm a designer. And then as a designer, having a live fit model that can try on my stuff, me, helps all the time. You know, like I can try on my own garments, I can walk my own garments, I can see if they're comfortable and see how they feel. And they really, I mean, it all goes, the elements of design all go hand in hand, like painting to designing to modeling, you know, just basic shape, form, spacing. It's all relevant, and like it's all relevant in all of the fields. So you just got to like apply that creativity across all fields, I think. Try not to be in a box.
Yes, girl, exactly.
Yeah.
I say all the time, when it comes to modeling, you definitely have to think outside the box, and don't put yourself in a category of, I'm only going to be a fashion model, I'm not going to be a fit model, or I'm only going to be commercial and I'm not going to be beauty, or whatever it is. Because I think we should all try everything to see what works best with us. Because you might find out that you're excellent at this particular thing when you were only going to go with one particular thing, if that makes sense. So my next thing would be attitude. Because I know you have a great attitude. You're always smiling. always talking to people. Always ready to just enjoy yourself and have a good time. Why is attitude so important as far as being a model?
As far as being a model, I mean, modeling is in itself kind of a little bit like acting, you know, like you go onto set or you go backstage and you want to ultimately, like, you want to embody the designs you're in. But I mean, as when you're a part of a crew, like you want to make those connections too, and having a great attitude and like that can-do attitude and being excited about what you do. I mean, that I think is contagious towards other people.
Yeah.
And it'll get you far, I think. I mean, I think I've gotten pretty far with it. Yes. So I just think it's all it's all important, you know? Like no one if you show up to set and you act like a diva, you're not gonna get hired. Like we're doing a job. You gotta have an attitude of like, I'm doing a job, how can I best do this job? You know, and you gotta just try to do your best. And if everyone sees that you're doing your best, then everyone will root for you.
So, question: when it comes to being a designer, how does attitude play with that? Like if you get what I'm trying to set, there's a question in that question that I'm trying to set.
Well, as a designer, see, as a model, I kind of almost think of myself as a blank canvas, and I'm willing to do anything. But as a designer, it's like I'm the artist that has a vision, and I have to get that vision across. You know, and a lot of times designers have to fight for that vision, and it's like, well, you know, and a great attitude will get you far, but on the designer end, you've got to like, at some point, you got to be organized, and you have to stay true to your vision. The different dynamics of what it's like backstage, at least.
And how is it if you're working with other designers? How is that? Is it like, okay, creative minds come together and we just, vibe off of that? Or like, how is that experience working with other designers?
Working with other designers? Well, I always, no matter what field, I love creative input and like taking it in and taking it into consideration.
Mm-hmm.
Because ultimately, like, if I'm a creator, and somebody has a suggestion that's much better or like easier or simpler or will improve the vision, like, you gotta listen to it. You gotta collaborate. Collaboration is so important in our industry. I mean, really, like, shoots are just collaborating, like different artists collaborating, like makeup artists and hairstylists and stylists in general and models in general and designs. It's just like this huge collaboration that comes out with like this one perfect picture. And if you don't have all the hands working together, like, it can go awry pretty quickly, or like one little element can go off, you know?
Yeah. Okay, I get it. Because I was one. It made me, when you said that, I was like, I wonder how it is working with other designers. Because you know how sometimes you work with other models and some be like divas, and you be like, "Girl, sit down, relax."
Yeah.
Where I've just wondered how it would be if you're working with, designer that may have a different style. If somebody has more of a longevity in the design industry, how they would be, because there's different personalities everywhere, and some people feel like, oh no, I've been here for a while, you gonna respect me, where other people but other people's like, I'm just humble with it, and if you need help, if you need anything, I'm here, type of attitude. You know what I mean?
I think that's you.
Yeah.
I think that's you. Yeah.
It's the mother in me. Like, that's just it. I'm just such a mom. I'm a nurturer. I like to help whenever I can. So
But I honestly think that's how you get the best product, you know? That's how you get the best product. When everyone is like a nurturer and the project is your baby, that's where it's at. You know, when there's like power like dynamics introduced, it can just get very complicated sometimes. But like when everybody is super nurturing, I feel like it's just magical.
I'm telling you, I'm speaking this into fruition. We're gonna do a fashion show event. We're gonna have your new collection in when you come up with even a new collection, depending on when we do this. And just have it where we have our models and everything else just coming on in, and we just make it something big and wonderful. It's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
It's not.
I'm excited.
It's a joke. I'm serious. It's for real. Because I feel like as models, it's our time to actually be able to do something. Because I think we come in all the time as, okay, we're just coming to do a job. I think we should come together and do something great that we're putting together for us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
It's coming. But yeah, we have only a couple minutes, minute or so left. So I want to definitely have everybody know where they can find you. Both.
Yeah. So my painting account is a Razzle Dazzle Paint. You know, give them Leo. Oh my God, yeah, give me a Razzle Dazzle. And then my modeling account is Dazzle Daisies. That's the one I joined with here. And then I have a senior collection account, and that's the Raz brand, and that's where you can find like this stuff. But I might just post that on my main. I don't know, too many Insta accounts to name. Anna, don't roast me like this. But yeah, so because I've gotten so many interests, I just don't know how to, it's all crazy. So I try to separate Razzle Dazzle Paint. Who am I? Dazzle Daisies from modeling, and the Raz band.
Awesome. So if anybody wants to check out Daisy, and she's also with what agency are you with before you wind up being cut off?
Mercury Management.
Mercury Management. Check her out. She is not a free model, so book her, please. And thank you so much, everyone, for watching. We appreciate you and have a wonderful night.